We're so thrilled to have you with us, Dr. Thompson. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm glad to be here. It's been a while since we've talked.
I know. We had the opportunity to meet at the ABAI Conference in Seattle earlier this year, and we've shown that clip, and we'll show it again in a few minutes. And I've mentioned several times how delightful it was meeting you, and I sort of felt like I'd come home when we sat down to talk. You have a way of putting things that's so accessible for parents, and I really appreciate that.
Well, you know, that's really an important thing. It's very easy to talk over people's heads.
Yes.
If you're lazy and don't want to spend the time to translate things into plain English. But you know, we try very hard to do that. You know, this conference that's coming up in the end of January. It's the 7th annual Autism Conference that's put on by the Association for Behavior Analysis International. This year, we have one whole day that's specifically for parents, and all the speakers were selected with that in mind, all the topics. Everyone is, you know, a top-notch communicator who really has good skill in speaking in plain English to ordinary people. So it's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting, and your list of speakers is absolutely breathtaking, and you've got quite a few topics. Explain to people, though, I know that I, as a parent, was completely unaware that I could attend these conferences. I had this thought, I was aware of them, but I thought that they were just for professionals. But the truth is that these ABAI conferences, parents are always welcome, but this specific conference is really one of the first ones I would think that a parent should attend for this reason, that you are making an entire day just for parents. What kinds of things are they going to see and hear if they come?
Well, actually, every year we do a survey of what people are interested in hearing about, and we you know, classify them by the type of people. And among the topics that parents want to hear about, they're always pretty much the same topics. But this year we focused on how do you decide what kind of early intervention is the most appropriate for your child. So I'll be talking about that first in the morning.
Great.
Bridget Taylor will be discussing teaching independence skills to kids with autism. Independence is always a high priority.
Yes.
Kathleen Piazza from Nebraska, who's probably the foremost expert in the country on feeding disorders and autism, will be next. Then Mark Duran is going to talk about sleep problems. And finally, Peter Gerhardt, who is a spectacular speaker, is going to be talking about transition from high school to the adult world. I mean, we end the day actually with a panel discussion that was suggested by a parent that I worked with here in Minnesota, Cammie Kramer. She has 2 kids on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And Cammie wrote an essay one time, the title of which was "What Keeps You Awake at Night?" which I love.
Yeah.
And she was asking other parents, you know, what keeps you awake at night worrying about, you know, your kid's future? And every single parent responded the same, which was, what in the world is going to happen to him when he graduates from high school?
Yeah.
And so we put together this panel. We'll have a parent from the upper Northwest, Cammie from Minnesota, and then Wayne Fisher, who's from the University of Nebraska. He's the head of an autism center there. He works very closely with parents. And it'll be chaired by a member of the Autism Parent SIG, Special Interest Group. So that'll be really an exciting session.
Absolutely. Now, the whole conference is 3 days, is that correct?
3 days. The first day, Friday the 25th, is intended mainly for providers, but you know, anyone is welcome. I think actually that's one parents will actually love too.
Yeah.
Basically, that day is devoted to how do we promote collaboration between parents and the kids who work, the providers who work with your kids. So Margie Charlop from Claremont is going to discuss her approach. She calls it the easy breezy parent training approach, which I like.
I like that.
And then Mimi Heineman from Florida, she works at a children's hospital in Florida. She'll be talking about the approach that they have developed down there to work how to get a better working relationship between parents and their kids. So, and then the main part of the conference, I guess you'd call it the main part, it has been historically, is what we call the Science Day.
Yeah.
And the first speaker is Avon Stammer, who some of you out the West Coast know. She's from San Diego, worked with Laura Schreibman. She'll be talking about collaboration in autism into the community. Then Glenn Murphy from Kent University in England will be discussing the criminal justice system and autism. She's one of the foremost authorities in the world, actually, about that.
Well, and I'm going to talk with you more about that in just a minute. But so if a parent wants to come, they can attend all of these, or do they need to stay just on the parent track?
Well, they can attend whatever they want to. If they decided they only want to go to the parent track that one day, the registration fee is $99.
Okay.
If they want to go to the whole conference, that's different, and it's complicated. The amount depends on how much you go to,
Okay.
Whether you're a member or not a member. And so what you should really do, if they're really interested, is check with the ABAI conference website.
Okay.
And they can see the breakdown of all the different prices by how much you attend and who you are.
And is that where they also register for anything?
Absolutely.
Okay. And important that we note that tomorrow is the end of the early registration period. So if they want to get a great deal, I mean, that's an amazing day for $99. That's chock full of information and really hitting on all pistons about, going from very young child to transitioning to college. That's an amazing day that you've laid out for everyone.
Yeah, it is, and we've tried to get a range of speakers. Jonathan Tarbox from CARD will be there, Sharon Reeve from Caldwell College, and a novel discussion of dealing with what usually is not usually a behavioral thing, which is theory of mind.
Yes.
Which will be kind of interesting. Jonathan will be talking about that. And
he was with us on Friday and shared a little bit about the fact that he was going to be talking about that. It's a very exciting topic to parents. Well, an amazing event, and we have to again mention that it starts on the 25th of January 2013, so just a short time period from now, a little over a month, and it goes through the 27th, and the location for this convention is Portland, Oregon, correct?
Yeah, it's the Portland Marriott downtown waterfront in Portland. It's a very nice place.
It's beautiful. I've actually been there, and so a beautiful place to have the conference and a wonderful place to visit. And again, they can register for early registration up through tomorrow, and they can do that at the ABAI website.
Yeah, it's www.abaiinternational.org.
Okay.
If you log in there and click events, then the first one that will come up will be this conference.
Okay. And they will have an opportunity to meet you there along with all these phenomenal speakers that you've lined up.
Yeah, this is my last year as chair of this conference, and I've done it for 3 years now, so I'd be delighted to meet people and have a chance to see what people think.
Fabulous.